Hi there and welcome to another 5K everyday rowing workout where I row 5,000 meters on my rowing machine and I invite you to row along with me. Now between this opening chat, the main row and then my outro, you're probably looking at around about 25 minutes worth of time that you could be here rowing for. So hopefully that either gives you time to do a cool down if you finish before me, or there's enough time for you to finish a full 5,000 meters if you don't quite get there when I get there. But to be honest, it's not actually about the 5,000 meters, it's more about the kind of 20-21 minutes worth of rowing that you can do every single day. It's just good for you if you can spend that time, whether it's in the morning, whether it's during your workout, whether it's at night before you go to bed. Who knows? If you can row 5K with me every day, I can almost see, you can see I paused there, can almost guarantee you're going to feel better for it. But my brain went, don't say guarantee. So we're going to get the machine set up first before we start. And that means that you want to go to your drag factor and set that to where you want it to be. Woof, I'm going to set it between 5 and 6, which on my clean machine gives me a drag factor of around about 140. Next up, foot stretcher height. I want you to set the foot plates so that the straps cover the balls of your feet, the widest part of your feet. That gives you the best flexibility coming into the front of the machine. And then finally, how you hold the handle. Let's go for shoulder width, all right? Because it's a better connection, all right? I never talk about the handle at the beginning. What happened there? So here we go then. We're going to get into our kind of 5K 20-odd minute row in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's go. Right, let's just make sure that my wee rower's rowing. He is. Now there's slightly different view to the last time I did this. I'll quickly just talk about imerseU row just because it's worth it. Last time, it was just like the front of the boat, whereas now you can see we've actually got a person in a boat. And the animation, to be honest, for the rower is fantastic. It's a really nicely designed smooth, fluid row motion, so it's nice. So right down at the bottom of the screen, don't know if you can see it, but it's got the lane number that I'm in, and it kind of breaks the magic. I know it's important to be there, but both in the non-rower view, when you can see just the tip bow. My rowing terminology is rubbish. And this one, it's kind of, if you're meant to be, the app's called imerseU row. And the point of it being, you're meant to feel immersed in what you're doing. It's immersive. Immerse, immerse, immerse. And for me, that lane number just takes away from it. You should see the full setup of this app. Oh man. So it's really the full fat version of this is a big setup with, it's like a room with 3 walls. Oh, there's probably a 4th wall somewhere, but it just concentrates on in front of you and then left and right. And whether it's, I don't know if it's LED walls or projectors, but basically you're in this room and it's a complete wraparound image of what you're seeing here. So that's where it really is immersed. So I talk about my row being the kind of the premium upgrade for Concept 2. It is slightly outshone by imerseU row in the full setup. Just go to imerseUrow.com, take a look at some of their images, and you'll see just how incredible it looks. But it doesn't have to be that, of course. I've got it running on my iPad. So that's a much more affordable way. So we're on the mountain, I think it's a mountain lake, mountain view course today. So, and you'll see, the handy thing about using this is that you'll see the pace markers go by, so you know where I am in the row like I say, it's not really about the distance. It's about 20 minutes worth of rowing. It's just useful that it's round about 5k. And 5k every day is a much more pleasant title than 20 minutes every day. So, tentatively, I am thinking about naming today's row New Year, New You. A huge cliche when it comes to this time of the year. But I want to name it that for two reasons. One, to kind of play on the fact it's such a cliche. But two, because cliche or not, there is a point to it. That the new year is a good trigger point for you to kind of focus in on and say, okay, I've got goals. A new year has started. Why not use this as the springboard? The downside to the New Year, New You thing, there's two. One is all of the hawkish companies that are out there trying to sell you something to help with your New Year, New You. Remember, I'm doing this for free. It's all up here on YouTube for you to follow for free. So I just wake up. I'm going to do a 5k row anyway, so I might as well run a camera and you can join me. This nice low intensity, which I kind of didn't really get across, because this is meant to be a nice easy row. Not really meant to be melting this one, but you can if you want though. So there's the bombardment of people trying to sell you something, but there's also the risk of negative, I don't know if there's a phrase for this, but basically what I'm trying to say is that if come like January 16th, something happens and you just can't train that day. You had it in your diary to go to the gym, do a row or weights or run, bike, whatever. And either work gets in the way or family gets in the way. Maybe you've got kids and they need to be looked after rather than you going to the gym. Or maybe you get in your own way in that you've not been training for a while, and so this sudden return to training, by the time you get 2 weeks in, your body's like, come on Brenda, can I get a day off please? I don't know why I chose Brenda there. I mean, I could easily just have said Brendan and at least made it male. Anyway, Brendan. It's like, been training so hard, your body's not used to it, and you're just like, I need a rest day. Which is totally fine, especially if you're coming back to training and you've not been doing anything for months. And then suddenly you throw yourself into a training regime. If you don't allow your body that extra bit of recovery, then it is quite easy to scrape the barrel of energy and then need to take a day off rather than just want to take a day off. But the important thing is that just because something has got in the way, it doesn't derail you. Steer around it. Hard to do on a train, I know, but I'm the man of mixed analogies. The most dangerous thing is when you commit to a plan, a new year, new you plan, say like a 30-day fitness plan, and you get 15 days into it and you're just run into the ground, or like I say, something else gets in the way. And then because you missed day 15 or whatever, there is a tendency, especially if you're still trying to find the love and motivation for training, we're 10 minutes in, there can be a tendency to just go, oh well, that's it, that failed, and then you stop and go back to where you were, especially because like only 2 weeks in, you won't quite have really kind of ground in that routine. So again, part of the reason for me making these is to hold myself accountable to the routine of rowing 5k every day in order to really kind of get back on the proper rowing horse. Spent so long training for high rocks that I'd go through weeks where I'd only really row my Sunday group row on the Extra app, and then I'd maybe do 500 meter intervals on a Wednesday, and that would be it. And so my rowing was suffering, and it's not like I'm going to compete with the fast guys on high rocks anyway, so I think I can ease 1 or 2 sessions, or like I'm doing now, I can add in a rowing session, because if nothing else, this is going to make me fitter for high rocks anyway. Anyway, so if you haven't quite got into your routine and suddenly something comes up and you stop, then if you're of a mindset of, oh well, that's the end, it's all done with, there's no point anymore, and you haven't built up your routine, sometimes your new year, new you plans can come crashing down your ears. So, if nothing else, I'm hoping that these rows are something for you to lock onto, that when you see them pop up in your feed, you go, oh yeah, that's what I'm meant to be doing. And then, even though you may be behind the schedule in terms of what date I'm putting them up on, you can either go back to where you left off, or you can just pick up where I am. I mean, there's no real progression to these
workouts, they're just me rowing and talking away. Sometimes, like today, it will be a little bit more about trying to help you. Other times, it will be about food, music, romance. Not romance. I only have one romance, and that's my amazing wife. Still amazed that she hasn't worked out she could do better than me. But this year, we'll have been together for 30 years. I'm so old. Yep. We met when I was 20. And, you know, people talk about love at first sight. And I think, well, in my case, it was like complementary pheromones. I saw her, we were in a nightclub, and I saw her, and there was a physical change to my body. I suddenly got kind of, it was almost a mixture of agitation and adrenaline. I suddenly got really, I don't know, hyper alert, hyper attuned to the fact I just needed to talk to this woman, or this girl. I mean, she was 22 at the time. I was in 22, 0, TOO for 2. I'm older than her. I'm not her toy boy. And then waited for a breakdown in the music where it goes a bit quieter, and kind of, don't know, moseyed, loped, raced. You pick your, imagine how I crossed the dance floor. Wasn't danced, I'll tell you that much. And was like, hi. And her first words were, it took you long enough. So she'd spotted me and had a similar attraction. Maybe not chemicals. I never really asked her about that. But she'd spotted me. She liked my red polo t-shirt, my fake Ralph Lauren polo shirt. I liked her short skirt. And really, that was it. I've not left her side since. 30 years. What are we on? We moved into a flat, and then a house, another house we're in right now, 2 kids. And kind of, we're now at that point of our life where 2 teenage kids, we're starting to get a bit of time back, and really looking forward to what do we do in like 5-6 years time when the kids are at uni and we suddenly have all this time on our hands. I'm going to make rowing videos. Right, let's talk technique before we move on. There's no point this just being about a ranting man. Let's just talk about it. Even if this is new information to you, it's worth thinking about now and trying to address what I'm talking about. So, think about technique from the back of the stroke. As the handle pulls into your chest to sternum height, I want you to release it instantly, smoothly, but by instantly I mean don't hold it against your chest. So you're not throwing it away, just let it come away. And then as you do that, sit up on your seat. So up. And then as your hands continue to go away, you then tilt forwards over your hips. So hands, seat, tilt. Hands, posture, tilt. And then as your head gets to your knees, you can then bend your knees and try not to adjust anything about your arms or your back. You should have it locked in place before you bend your knees. Then slide forwards until shins are vertical. And once they get there, push the machine away with your feet. Don't think about pulling the handle. Don't think about going backwards. Think about pushing the machine. And that will help you to keep your arms straight, to hold that forwards tilt, so that you can push with your legs. And then when you're halfway through that leg drive, that is when you finally swing your back and then pull your arms as the last thing. So pull at the back, not at the front. And then handle comes in to sternum height. Try to keep wrists flat. It helps if you just hook fingers over the handle rather than choke it to death. Wrists flat, maybe elbows out slightly to keep them from dropping down low. And that's you at the back of the stroke. Squeeze shoulder blades together. And then you just do it all over again. Ugh, which is the perfect place to stop. So keep on rowing if you wish. Do the things I just talked about. Or rewind the video when you're done, okay? So when you're finished and you're showered, had something to eat, had a drink, told someone you love them, which is very important. And then you're back, either maybe when you're in the kitchen, having something to eat, who knows? Rewind and watch that last 2 minutes. I think it's about 2 minutes, 3 minutes, where I talk about technique. Maybe don't look at me, because sometimes when I'm talking, I get a little bit, timing's a little bit all over the place. But listen to that and try and think about it, so that next time you're in the machine, you can think, am I doing that? So when it comes to the handle coming to sternum height, take a look. Is it up in your throat? Is it down in your belly button? Brr. In which case, sternum height, okay, where your bra strap should be if you're a woman or you like to wear bras, or a heart rate monitor, okay? That's where you want the handle to be. Wrists nice and flat, and then think about the hands away, tilt forwards. That's really important. If you can get that posture right, instead of sitting back, if you can get that posture right so you're tilted forwards, that alone, and keeping arms straight, okay, so maybe not that alone, will transform your rowing stroke. And trust me, there are people out there that are like, yeah, I know what you're on about, but they are rowing like this the whole time and then pulling early at the front. But so I really do recommend it. Just taking a moment next time you're rowing to think about that. I mean, listen, these 5K everyday rows, this one's slightly different in that I waited right until the very end to talk about technique. Usually we get 2 or 3 minutes in, I then taught technique, and then I could then ramble away at you. But today I did it at the end, which isn't really the best thing to do. I did consider editing it and kind of shifting it forwards, but I thought, well, hang on, where am I going to put it? Am I going to have the chat about the app and then talk about it? Could do that, but no, so I put it at the end. I might even put in the notes, if you want to know about technique, skip to the end and then watch that bit and then come back again. But yeah, this is very much how these videos are going to be though. I'm just going to sit down on the machine and just, it's all going to kind of fall out of my mouth. Because otherwise, if I tried to script this stuff and know what I was going to talk about, then things would go bad. I mean, I'm trying to do, for the company MyRow that I'm making workouts for,
I'm trying to get my head around kind of being a lot more professional for them, and it's really hard. If you know anything about me, I've been doing this since 2018, and if you've been watching enough of my videos, you'll understand why I'm finding it hard to be a little bit more professional about what I do. But yeah. Anyway, so thank you very much to imerseU Row for being the background view today. You can see the rowers coming past. So thanks to Charles, he's the head guy for imerseU Row for letting me to do this, because some apps don't want me to put stuff in the background. Who knows? But yeah, so he does. He really wants people to go and check it out. Do check it out. You do get a trial, so go to imerseU.com or type into your app store. Yeah, then you can have a look at it. It's a nice app. It's really worth it if you like this kind of immersive rowing side of things. It's amazing. I mean, look at it. It's great. And that's it. Right, so hopefully I've now flannelled along enough for you to get to the end of your 5K or to do a cool down or whatever. Hopefully you've got a good workout today. I know I have. I'm actually about to do something daft. I'm about to do a 2K rate capped at 20 strokes a minute because, like I said, I want to start working more on my rowing, and a rate capped 2K is the start of that plan. So I'm going to put it up as a short later on, so keep an eye out on that. And so yeah, I hope you're doing well. I've already told you about showering and eating and love and stuff, so I don't have to do that again. I will see you in the next one, whether it's another 5K every day or any of the hundreds of different workouts I've got up in here. Seriously, go through the library. You'll see I've uploaded 1,000 videos, and I think 800 of them are rowing workouts. So there's lots of options up here. So I hope you do that. I hope you enjoy them. Give me some feedback. Say hello. Say, could you please shut up? Or could you please talk more? Or tell me more about your wife. She's amazing. That's all you need to know. And I will see you in the next one. Until then, please, row well. That's not the order I say it in. Until then, take care, row well, be well. Bye-bye.